Welcome to DNA's Birding Adventures. We're off to CSU Environmental Learning Center in Fort Collins, Colorado. It's spring, and all the birds are starting to act accordingly. We brought our AnnieVan on this excursion and found 30 bird species altogether, including an amazing experience with a pair of Cooper's hawks. Dave's been working really hard on fixing up the AnnieVan. We are heading on a van life tour here pretty soon. Got it going strong, new motor. And our first excursion for this spring is at the CSU Environmental Learning Center. This historic learning center runs right along the Cache-la-Poudre River and is part of the National Heritage Site. The overland trail ran right through here, and there was a stage stop, and the original farm burned down in 1998. Thankfully, the land was donated in the 1960s by the Rigdon family to the Environmental Learning Center, which we have today. CSU students provide 180 different learning programs to students in the area. The 212-acre cottonwood forests, also riparian and prairie grasslands, are great for birding. Our go-to spot while we're birding is right along this canal for lots of ducks in the winter, actually, because the water doesn't freeze. There's a Fort Collins water treatment plant is just there on the left, and it has warm water that comes out and keeps it from freezing. And today we're going to take the long loop around the outside of the park, and then you can also take a smaller loop. I think it's about 1.5 miles altogether. And here we go. It's so nice to have Dave back. This is a suspension bridge. So watch out. Here we go. You can make it wobble. Looks pretty dry. The Poudre River's right up there. You can make it wobble so Dave can't walk. The Environmental Learning Center also houses a garden, greenhouse, nature center, and the Rocky Mountain Raptor program. They spotted some swallows here, new for the year, so we'll wait till it warms up a little bit. In the meantime, we'll head through the forest. There's usually deer in here. Oh, there's a squirrel. Got the squirrel? It's a red squirrel. And then we saw this Cooper's hawk.
Oh, this is where the nest is.
Oh, very good. There's a nest. That must be the female Cooper's hawk.
The females are a third larger than the males. We actually spent maybe 45 minutes watching these two build a nest, hunt, and they were right next to the trail. You can see his banded tail in the nest.
So there is the Cooper's hawk nest. He's actually building it.
Yeah, he made that laughing sound.
Yeah. There's a Cooper's hawk.
The males and females pretty much look the same. They have that orange to red eyes in the adults, and the immature have yellow eyes. They're about the size of a crow in comparison to the sharp-shinned hawk, which is smaller. The Cooper's hawk have more of a rounded tail, and the sharp-shinned hawk is kind of flat, and their heads are larger as well. They have banding on the tail and that gray cap on top, and the streaks go horizontal on the mature birds. A little later in the day, we saw this immature Cooper's hawk flying over, quite different in markings. They're very similar, and they both love to eat mice and birds. We often find them at our feeders. We watched this one hunt for a mouse for a while. I'm not sure if he caught it.
He's trying to show off for his girl by getting a mouse. beautiful. There are a lot of mice. I just saw and heard a couple of them. Oh, he just got a mouse. There's a Cooper's hawk. Oh. And a flicker just flew by and landed up in there. There's a lot of tap, tap, tapping going on. There's, oh yeah, flicker, and right there, and then a European starling right there.
We normally get the red shafted northern flickers, but we occasionally get the yellow shafted, but they're usually further east.
So there's a male and female northern flicker. This is the female, and the male is right there. It's that time of year. Whoop. The male and female flickers right in there.
This is a pair. The males have the little red mustache and the females do not. Look at all these flicker holes in this tree. I love the way they just leave all the dead trees. Great habitat in this Environmental Learning Center. And we're pretty much right in the middle of Fort Collins, Colorado. No flowers yet.
Blue jays. Oh, they're noisy. Meow. There's like 3 or 4 of them. There's a lot happening. That's a red-tailed hawk. And Canada geese just flew by. There's 2 red-tailed hawks. I think they're paired up too. One just landed on the top of that tree. Saw a couple red-tailed hawks. Black-capped chickadees calling. And you can go that way or Wilcox Trail. That's where we'll head. I'd like to see those white-tailed deer in here. It's right there. Black-capped chickadee. There's 2 black-capped chickadees in that tree. There's a lot of bugs out. They're probably eating bugs.
It's an exciting time in the spring when the trees start to bud and then the bugs come out and then the birds come back, especially the warblers.
Black-capped chickadee. Oh, the sun's finally out. There's robins, starlings, black-capped chickadees, and there's a whole tree full of flickers right over there. Like 4 or 5. There's the bunny. Whoa, jeez. Just saw some bunnies and there's some white-tailed deer way over. You can see them wagging their little tails.
The white-tailed deer are more widespread, except for in the Rocky Mountains, and we have the mule deer in the west.
Canada geese just flew by. There's the deer. Their little white tails go up when they're trying to warn the others.
There are also black-tailed deers, which are subspecies of the mule deer that are on the Pacific coast.
There's more deer.
The Arapaho and Ute natives hunted the bison in this area.
And we just saw the white-tailed deer. And there's an eagle's nest right over in there. There's a mourning dove right up in there. There's a gobbler, or female, I think. I hear the gobbler. You can hear the tom. There's a turkey right next to Dave. She doesn't care. She's busy eating. It's a nice little spot. We just saw the downy woodpecker. There's some water right over there. Flickers. And that's where the eagle's nest is. There's that downy woodpecker.
And the downy woodpeckers peck a new cavity every year with the female's choice, and mostly in aspen trees, probably because the aspens are softer wood. These cottonwood trees probably make a great cavity too.
I wonder if it's the same one.
If you remember from a previous video, the downy woodpeckers peck 16 times per second. This one is a female. It does not have red on its head, similar to the hairy, larger woodpeckers, where the males have the red on their heads as well.
There's just black-capped chickadees everywhere. Just saw another downy. I'm not sure if it was the same one. Gritty steps. Huh. Oh! Huh. So they moved the trail because of the tree. They didn't want to move the tree. Smart. So now we're going around. The trail used to go right there. There's the Poudre River. There's a beaver dam? Oh yeah. There's the river was probably going too strong. Oh. Oh. Yeah. There are a couple mallards right over there. Paired up. Flickers are just annoying. Just kidding. She probably has a nest somewhere. The mallard. All the boys were on the river. A couple of Canada geese. And we're heading over to the Poudre River. There have been a few different swallows that have come in. The northern rough-winged tree swallow and barn swallow. Barn swallows are usually first to come here. It's a little observation deck with a tree in the way. Duck. Flicker, there's a robin up in that tree. Oh, what's that? There's a couple white-crowned sparrows right there.
Oh, this is a pair, and the males and females look pretty much identical, and the immature have brown on their heads.
There's a Lincoln sparrow right in that little cave underneath the foliage. Come out, come out.
Oh, it just flew up.
There's a pooter. Oh, the ducks are flying around. We just saw a Cooper's hawk try to eat the white-crowned sparrows. It's a hard rock life.
A lot of insects live in the rocks, and this wind scorpion can run up to 10 miles an hour.
Okay, here's the Poudre River and the mitigation they were talking about. They're trying to stop the water from flowing fast. Interesting though that they took down that beaver nest or den. Huh. It's a bald eagle up on that pole.
And he looks so regal. This is probably the same bald eagle that we saw in the nest earlier.
Killdeer. There's a killdeer. Oh, it's not moving over there. There he is. They're just kind of so much mitigation here to keep the river from flooding. And it's a nice little pond for the mallards too. We just heard a killdeer. Oh, there's the female.
Down there.
Heading out. All the cabbage white butterflies just started coming out.
You don't have to be a kid to enjoy the swinging suspension bridge. I'm so glad it's spring. These are cottonwood flowers, and soon the warblers will come back. We did see some bees on these cherry blossoms.
Oh, there's a little bee.
A great day. We had some birds and bee action. And some butterflies were showing up. These cabbage whites were everywhere. Time to head out. On the way back on that canal, we saw the cinnamon teal, a blue-winged teal, American widgeons, and of course mallards. And usually we see a wood duck. We got one of those last week, but they weren't there today. As we left the parking lot, we had this Say's Phoebe that was saying, "So long and thanks for coming over to CSU Environmental Learning Center." It was an incredible birding day. Just in a few hours, we got 30 different bird species, none new for 2024. Next week, we're going to head south to Wet Mountains in southern Colorado. This island grill has the best kahuna burger and fish tacos.
Big kahuna. It's half gone. Curry garlic fish tacos. These are the town's best. Red Island Grill.
We sure love where we live, and later that evening we had some more encounters. It's getting pretty frisky out there. And even with their antlers just growing in, these guys were still trying to show their dominance. We were able to take the AnnieVan out for a spin today. We're getting ready to take her on a long trip up into Michigan. Stay tuned for more birding adventures, and thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting. Happy trails to you. Until next time when we hit the wet mountains of southern Colorado.